What's going on, everybody? Super Saiyan Paul here, back at it again. Today we got some groundbreaking news and information updates on Dragon Ball Super and how the series is going to end. But before we start this video, guys, make sure you guys click off if you guys do not want to be spoiled as to what's going to happen in the Dragon Ball Super Tournament of Power finale. It's going to be very interesting to see here, so we're going to be breaking down all of this stuff, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. So make sure you guys click off if you guys do not want to hear it. If you guys are staying for the video, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe, as well as turn on notifications, because this is going to be some groundbreaking info. Anyway, guys, they released provisional titles for Dragon Ball Super Episode 130 as well as Dragon Ball Super Episode 131. We've been waiting on this, and what it basically reveals to us here is that the absolute finale of Dragon Ball Super will be on Episode 131. Like we predicted, it's probably going to be, most likely, it's 99% confirmed here, the ending in entirety of Dragon Ball Super. Not Dragon Ball Z, or not Dragon Ball as a franchise, but Dragon Ball Super as a franchise. They're going to be continuing with Dragon Ball, of course. They're going to be having the movie come out later this year, but most likely the tournament's going to end in a very, very straightforward manner from these titles. So let me go over the titles yet again for you guys, because I did a video earlier on this. Dragon Ball Super Episode 130, airing on March 18th, is titled An Unprecedented Super Showdown. And then Dragon Ball Super Episode 131, airing on March 25th, which is the final episode of Dragon Ball Super, is titled Goku, Until the Day We Meet Again. So it's basically the same exact thing that we got from GT in terms of, like, just that title alone. I get the same exact vibe from it. So with that being the case, and how fast-paced Dragon Ball Super has been rushed through, especially with the Topo fight, I have a feeling that with Dragon Ball Super Episode 130, it's going to be Mastered UI Goku in that final minute versus Jiren at 100%, and Goku is inevitably going to be winning because this form is hyped up as the strongest version of Goku. This form is going to be undefeated, and it has to win because otherwise this form is useless, and all of this hype is for nothing. So it's either one or the other. Either Jiren wins and he lives up to the shallow backstory that they've given us here, versus Ultra Instinct and all of the hype that it's been surrounded by. And I have a feeling, mostly likely because of the title here, and because of Ultra Instinct and all of the hype and everything we've been through with Dragon Ball Super and the pacing of this tournament, Goku is going to inevitably win the Dragon Ball Super Tournament of Power. And it seems like it's going to be rather straightforward, because without Frieza being mentioned at all in these titles, or anything mentioning betrayal, or especially that last one with Goku, until the day we meet again, it seems as though it's going to be a straightforward victory. Maybe Frieza is going to pitch in at the very end and become a good guy in some way or sense of form, or rather than that, Frieza is going to either maybe try to betray him at the very least, and Goku's going to shut it down just like that. Because Ultra Instinct in its mastered form is going to be undefeatable. It's going to be the most overpowered transformation yet, and they're going to have to end the Super series on that, because with such a powerful transformation, what can you possibly bring to the table right now to bring it, like, to beat it? At this point in time, you can't. The only other things I could see beating it, besides this monster of a hype wagon that they created here, is that either they bring in some fighters from the other universes, or they're gonna just have to nerf Goku in some way, shape, or form in terms of, like, time limit or something like that, because this form is just that powerful. It's going to be the strongest Goku of all time, and with that being the case here, and the Super Series ending, they're not gonna end it off on a cliffhanger. I have a feeling that it's just gonna end with Goku winning, because if they're gonna end it off on a cliffhanger, they don't title it like that, and they wouldn't just build this much hype around the form being the strongest one of all time. On top of that, if they were going to end it off on a cliffhanger, they would have it titled something else, or they would have built up Jiren's character a little bit more. This way, when he inevitably wins, well, if you inevitably win anyway, it would have basically added up to something much more than what we're getting here, because they're just making Jiren seem like a very strong opponent. They're hyping up his strength in terms of just, like, the mystery of everything out there, rather than his character. Because if you guys want to admit it, be truthful with yourself, his backstory was shallow as it could ever be. It was rather cliche, and it wasn't built upon to the level that I would have expected it to have been for a character that would have been much more, he would have been much more omnidirectional rather than what they've given us here with this one-dimensional character here, and they're just building up as a strong enemy just to show us, yo, he's this powerful, look how strong he is, guys. And now Ultra Instinct Mastered is going to take him out. This is how powerful the form is. Nobody was able to take down Jiren until Goku gets this new form, which is getting hyped around everywhere. And on top of that, the action figures are in production, as well as the DLC packs for like Xenoverse. So with this much hype and marketing being revolving around this form, it's safe to say that they're going to want this form to win. Otherwise, their merchandise, do you think it would take a hit in terms of sales? I think most likely, because of all of these variables, Mastered UI Goku is going to destroy Jiren at 100%. Yes, it's going to be an interesting fight. Most likely, hopefully it's animated very well because it's the final episode of fighting, basically, because episode 131 has to be the epilogue, and they have the final minute in episode 130. Therefore, that's the final showdown. That's where everything is going to be coming into play here. Now, Frieza's still on the battlefield. That's most likely going to help Goku out in terms of like dealing with Jiren in terms of like maybe the final hit or something like that, and maybe he pitches in and that's how they take him down. But UI Goku in his master state cannot be defeated. Otherwise, all of this hype, all of this merchandising, one of them is going to tank. Either Jiren's hype is going to tank or Goku's hype is going to tank. And you guys know how much plot armor Goku has. Ultra Instinct in itself is plot armor in a form. So just take that into account here. If Ultra Instinct is plot armor in a form, most likely Mastered plot armor is going to win this entire tournament, because you cannot end the series with Goku losing. I just see this happening as the same way the Toppo fight went down with Vegeta and Toppo. Vegeta beat Toppo just straightforward. It wasn't really like, there wasn't any plot twist. They didn't build up Toppo's character as much as they should have, I think, and I feel like they're going to be drawing the same exact conclusion with Jiren here. Should they have developed Jiren more as a character? Yes, that's exactly what I wanted, but I don't think they're going to be doing that, because towards the end of this Tournament of Power, a lot of things have been rushed, and it seems like the same exact fate is going to be drawn here with Jiren. Now, I want you guys to comment down below, do you guys think Jiren was a rushed character? Do you guys think Jiren could have had a lot more depth in terms of his backstory? In my opinion, I like the concept of Jiren at the beginning, but wait, the way they're handling this right now, especially with these titles basically giving away everything to, like, everything about what's going to happen here, because, I mean, what else can you draw from that final episode's conclusion with that title? It's just going to be Goku winning, and I feel like Jiren, if he gets defeated, if you overlook everything that they brought with him to the table, he was a pretty shallow villain. In my opinion, I think Goku Black was a more developed villain than him, and yes, they rushed that arc too. They rushed the ending of that as well. With all of these things said, I'm going to miss Dragon Ball Super, and of course, it's still going to have a place in my heart, because when Dragon Ball Super ends, there's just going to be this huge gap on my Saturday nights, and yes, some people complained about it every other week, and yes, it had its flaws. However, this show was just not to be, you're not supposed to take these things for granted, and now, with the movie coming out, hopefully they revive the series or bring something new to the table. Hopefully a brand new Dragon Ball series comes out. Like, it's going to hype up everything for next year, because it's most likely that one's going to get blown out of the water. If they end the series here, that's perfect marketing for the movie, because we're going to be so thirsty for Dragon Ball content that everyone is going to run out and watch that movie. So most likely that's what they're probably going to be using to their advantage, and hopefully they do, because if that's going to take place with like the most amount of Saiyans, that seems like it's going to continue off with Dragon Ball Super storyline, but we don't know what the title of the movie is going to be, if it's going to be continuing off of Dragon Ball Super's name or Dragon Ball Z name. Like, you guys never know if they might bring that back for marketing purposes. Because in the US, like Dragon Ball Super, it's still only just now entering the Goku Black arc, so I don't know if they want to do that. But tell me what you guys think. Do you guys think they would market as Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Z, or do you think they would launch it with the new Dragon Ball title? This way, they can launch it to the new show a little bit smoothly, because what they've done here, they've drawn themselves into a hole, and now they're just ending it right here because of how much rushed writing there was. If you overlook the tournament and how things went down, I would have much rather them finish this off with a more built-up villain. Like, Toppo and Jiren were rushed, Ribrianne got way too much time, and if Frieza does not get the betrayal, they kind of overhyped him for no reason, but if they turn him into a good guy in a very decent way, that's still somewhat redeemable. A lot of people are saying Frieza is unredeemable for all the things he's done, but if you look at the overview of Dragon Ball as a series as a whole, Frieza was a bad guy since the beginning, and yet again, what's about to happen here is that Goku may just turn him into a good guy. This is not confirmed if he's going to turn into a good guy, but Frieza does have a part to play in that final episode. He has to, otherwise he's sitting in that ring for no reason, and that's more rush writing, and that's really going to kill this finale. But other than that, Frieza's in this ring for a reason, and they have a chance to make him either the worst villain ever in terms of betrayal or turn him into a good guy. So tell me what you guys think. Do you think Frieza has a very big role to play? Comment down below if you guys got this far into the video. Type in hashtag Mastered Ultra Instinct Finale if you guys did. Make sure you guys smash that like button, subscribe, as well as turn on notifications. This way you guys can be updated on all news, information, and updates, as well as things coming up with the Dragon Ball movie. I'll be seeing you guys next time. Thank you guys so much for all your continued support. It means so much. Until then, everybody, take care. Peace.